According to anthropologists and archaeologists, the most accepted theory is that they came from Asia, that they crossed through the Bering Strait about 40,000 years ago as nomadic tribes. They started moving down south. Some perhaps became the Eskimo in Alaska. Some other ones perhaps became the Inuit in Canada. And some other ones kept moving further south to what we know today as Guatemala. They settled there between 3000 to 2000 before Christ. And these are the Maya that we know. From Guatemala, they started spreading to 5 countries, which is Guatemala, part of Honduras, part of El Salvador, Belize, and Mexico. So this is the most accepted theory because of features that you can find in these groups. If you take somebody from Asia, especially around Mongolia, somebody from, an Eskimo, an Inuit, Maya, you can even drop in a Hawaiian or Polynesian, you have basically the same thing, same feature. Usually short people, stocky physique, round face, dark skin, almond shape of the eyes, almost no facial hair, and the most important one is called the Mongolian spot, which is a birthmark, which is in the lower back or sometimes on the wrists as well. It's found in different cultures and different people all over the world, but with much more incidence in these groups. So this is the most accepted theory. And then this is the most accepted theory, but we also have a few other ones, including from the Polynesian Islands. It's a legend that some people got on a ship, sailed out the ocean, got to different islands, eventually got to a place that by the description could be the American continent, somewhere around Guatemala. And there's another one, very recent, not that they came from, but that they had something to do with China. And this is because of the language. Turns out that about 150 words in Maya language mean exactly the same in ancient Chinese. So there could be some connection, and they're doing some research, especially in the pieces of jade, to see the composition, and then they can tell if it's from this continent or from Asia. Very recent, nothing concrete, but well, that's another theory. Then we're gonna jump forward. Okay, we already know who they believe they are, or where they believe they came from, where the archaeology believe they came from, and we're gonna jump forward to the city that we're going to visit. The city that we're going to visit, Coba, which is, just for the record, the original name of the city. Coba is written in one of the stones inside the archaeological site, and in ancient Maya would be pronounced Cobha. Cobha means murky water. When we get there, you will see why most likely they name it like this. Coba was inhabited from the year 100 before Christ until around the 1450 after Christ. So it's 1500 years of occupation, more or less. Around the 1450, they abandoned the city with no apparent reason. Not only this city, but several cities around this place, they were abandoned. And by the time the Spaniards got here, most of them were already abandoned again. So the theories of why they abandoned these cities go anywhere from natural disasters, floodings or droughts. Floodings, we cannot really prove that much because of it's all limestone. So we cannot really take samples of the soil to check on that. It was all coral. You have shells and coral fossilized pretty much everywhere. Droughts could be a very, very strong possibility because it's been proven because of stalactites. These are caused by the dripping of the water, that between the year 600 to 940, more or less, there was not much water in this area. And this is all flat, it's all stone, all the water filters down, there's irrigation is impossible. If you don't have rain, you have problems with agriculture. So it could be that. It could be also internal struggle, bad government, uprising, spreading out, or a combination of all of them, including a turning point. They changed from a religious society into a military society. The big cities started conquering other areas nearby. The population obviously increased exponentially, and they were all pretty much living off the land in a time that there was not much water. You start running out of resources and eventually have to spread out. This is the most accepted theory, that they had to spread out because they were running out of resources. The last but not least theory is that, at least one I like, they were abducted by aliens. And if you have heard of the year 2012, actually there's a movie right now, 2012. They're gonna be brought back. So this is what happened in this city. The splendor of the city was between the 600 to the 900 after Christ. Somewhere around the drought, which is actually the same splendor of the entire Maya civilization as we know it. okay, because they are finding some other civilizations around the 200 before Christ. So this is in Maya. So this is the most accepted theories. The city was about 80 square kilometers or 48 square miles. It would be impossible to walk all this area, as it would be pretty much impossible to restore the over 2,000 structures that we have within this area. So what we're going to see of the city is not even 5% of it. The population at the splendor of it was somewhere between 55 to 70,000 people living right here. So if you can imagine 55,000 people living off the land when there was not much rain, again, you may have problems with that. So this is the city. We're gonna be talking more about the buildings and some other things when we get to the city, but this is the overview. Are we okay? All right.